Volleyball fans, welcome back. This is our third match of the day. Here seeing the Ontario Matadors square off against Team Freedom. Both Team Freedom has already played one match today. Matadors coming fresh. They played one yesterday, but they've had all day to relax. So it's going to be interesting. I want to see how these teams are able to come out firing today.
Yeah, quarterfinal match number 1.
Yep.
Okay, Team Freedom just finished their last match about 3 hours ago. So they had a nice little rest, but they were in a good rhythm probably. Look for them to, I suspect, come out kind of fast out of the gates because they've been playing already. They're a little loose. Matadors warming up for the first time today. They've been able to sleep in, get a couple massages, get a nice breakfast, nice lunch. It's almost, we're coming up at 4 p.m. local time. So, you know, watch a couple good soap operas, you know, get the headspace right, and be ready to come out. And their army of players, you know, emotionally charged, bodies are recharged, and probably chomping at the bit to kind of start competing.
Definitely, and you know, here we are, the third match of the day. The Utah Athletic Center has absolutely been providing a wealth of entertainment today. We just came off of a 3-0 win for the Tyrants over Southern Exposure, and they're ending the Exposures weekend here. So far, we've said goodbye to Southern Exposure and Blaze earlier this morning. That's where Team Freedom was able to secure their spot in this match. That was a pretty close match. We saw some fight from Blaze, big swings out of the right side. Charles Belvin there, not quite able to make it happen. So Team Freedom definitely showing some grit and ability to make it happen.
Yeah, Team Freedom won that match in 4 sets after their, I believe, winning the first and then losing the second. A bit of a seesaw battle back and forth, but they were consistently across the board the emotional leaders on that match. Yeah,
and you speak to emotion. What I'm really curious to see here, we have seen across the tournament, Matadors are a high ride emotional team. What we'll traditionally see, and I expect that we're going to see here right now, is that they're going to come out strong. They're going to win. I think they're going to win game 1. I think we might start to see that dip into game 2. But before we go too much, Olivia, a little bit more insight with Team Freedom's coach.
Thanks, Nick. Coach, such a quick turnaround. How is energy going to factor into this one, and what do you do to overcome it?
Yeah, so fatigue is definitely kicking in. I think we got to get some of the guys that were out that first match to come in and kind of alleviate some of that pressure from our legs. But they're ready to do it. They're up for the challenge. I'm excited about it.
You know that blocking is going to be a big factor in this one. What do you need to do at the net?
Yeah, we got to be disciplined. I think we're floating, we're guessing. The back row attacks are going to be pivotal in this game. They run a nice B-gap bick. It's cool. We got to be prepared for that, but blocking discipline is huge in this match for us. Yeah, I want to have 10 to 12 blocks at least. Yeah, for sure.
You mentioned they have a great libero on the other side of the net. What do you have to do to overcome that?
To be honest, serve away from him and not hit towards him. He's really good, very confident player. He's also a really good dude, so that makes it worse. But yeah, stay away from him for sure.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Nick, back to you.
Thanks, Olivia. Yeah, you heard it there. You know, we're talking about the emotion, and that their libero yesterday was really what kept them in. I can't remember off the top of my head who they were playing, but they were rotating through a lot of different lineups trying to find the answer. But the one thing we saw consistent was their libero, and that was, I believe, number 11, Jose Mulero, and he was just an absolute stud. His serve receive is impressive and digging. No slouch.
Yeah, we made a good point yesterday about Jose. You know, stature-wise, 5'5".
Yeah.
You know, a little bit on the shorter side of the scale here in this tournament, but really a backcourt general, right? The libero. He is in charge. He knows where everyone needs to be. He's directing traffic. He's making sure his teammates know where they're supposed to go and whose responsibilities are what. And serve receive and who's playing where on block and defense. So look for him to absolutely carry that load into this match, and he realizes how important this match is going to be for them. So look for him to make a big impact as a libero.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that we're looking offensively here, the Matadors have shown that they have some middles that can get some points, but really I look to the outside. They run a little 6-2 combination here. The right side's Jair Santiago has shown that he can put this team on his back. But Vanderbeek, number 18, is no slouch either. Having 2 guys that can put a ball away like that is impressive.
Yeah, we'll see the double sub throughout the match here before the Matadors with Jair and Vanderbeek, and they'll come in at later in the game usually. But you're right about Jair. He can put the entire team on his back and his shoulder and his other shoulder and both legs because he's a big boy.
He's a big guy for sure, but none of that's to overshadow number 2, Christian Encarnacion. We have seen him. He has been a player that traditionally will come on exceptionally strong in game 1 and 2, but with his success comes a lot of effort and exertion, and so he kind of tapers off, we've seen in 3 and 4 as the game goes later, but he definitely knows when it's time to step up and find a clutch play for this team.
Yeah, highly emotional player, very skilled, very athletic, very explosive, has his role is well defined on this squad, but you're absolutely right. Maybe level out that emotion a little bit more. Focus more on the physical effort and not so much of the cheering and the emotional aspect of it, and help your squad out for the entirety of the match and not just little peaks and valleys, you know, on and off during the set.
Yeah, and it was interesting at the end of that Freedom win this morning. We heard one of their guys talking about how they really are an emotional team. And, you know, it's weird. As an observer, I see them being guys that are supportive and they are emotional in that sense, but I see them as a team that finds success through it, but not hindered by their emotion. And I think that's something that's a little different from the Matadors. So I think that's going to be a leg up here for Team Freedom, is that they really know how to support each other. These are guys that have been playing together for 4 or 5 years, total veterans. So definitely a big leg up, I think, for them here. But there's a lot less of an all-star package, I think, when you're selling individual players for Freedom. But this team, I cannot say it enough. I've said it before on the broadcast. You have to earn every point. They are not going to quit on defense. Every guy on that team is a weapon. Definitely keep an eye on their right side with Sam Albus. We'll see if he's starting here, because Albus definitely knows how to find the important kills. He's a high-efficiency swinger. And with their outsides being as explosive as they are, and we might see a little mix-up here based on what we heard from their coach, Justin. It'll be interesting to see how that lineup meshes.
Well, we saw some reserve guys come in and play yesterday. Played a nice role off the bench, put in a good effort, contributed nicely, and took advantage of that opportunity. So I think coach is not going to be afraid to bring those players back in off the bench, looking for someone to be that spark plug if that's what's needed.
And we're going to hear a little bit more, though, on the Matadors. Olivia, over to you.
Thanks, Nick. Coach, you have so many combinations of guys. Who can we expect to see step in and start this one?
¿A quién espera que va a estar empezando este juego?
Depende de warm-up. Yo no tengo un cuadro específico. Desde el calentamiento.
He doesn't have a lineup, specific lineup. He just watches the warm-up.
Who did you like that you saw in the warm-ups? What were they doing well? Who did you like that you saw?
¿A quién te gustó más en el warm-up?
Cristian Encarnación. Both setters.
I think we all like Christian Encarnacion. He's so great at coming in hot. How do you keep him consistently involved throughout the entire match?
¿Cómo lo mantiene a él consistentemente involucrado en todos los sets?
Trabajando la parte psicológica, que es algo muy importante.
Working with his psychology, because it's something that is really important.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck.
Nick, back to you.
Thanks so much, Olivia. It's interesting to hear that they were liking the way that both setters are looking, so I think that 6-2 is a combo we probably will see here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, one thing I do want to highlight that we haven't really talked much about, and as this tournament kind of whittles teams down, one interesting matchup I'm really curious to see how it unfolds here is actually the coaching one. Michael Bastida was a professional player in Cuba. This guy played with the Cuban national team for a while before going on the road and playing professionally overseas. He understands physically, emotionally, everything about his players and knows how to get the most from them. So he's one of the smartest and most experienced coaches that we're going to see out here. Simultaneously, Justin, the coach of the Tyrants, or not the Tyrants, well, he also runs the Tyrants, but he helps out here with Freedom and runs them as well. He knows these players. These are the guys that he's recruited, put in the gym for the last 5 years, and he knows inside and out exactly what they're going to do. And so he knows, once again, when and how to use that depth in that roster.
Yeah, absolutely. Both coaches are going to have a bit of a struggle here trying to figure out, what pieces to put in and when and make those changes. I definitely want to see the double sub from the Matadors, and we both know that that's going to happen. And then that's going to be interesting to see how Team Freedom, counteracts that and plays their block defense around it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I'm also looking forward to is the benches here. There's a very large bench with the Matadors. They are very loud and very supportive. And Team Freedom notoriously has a bench that likes to chirp and make sure the guys on the court all hear that they're there. They keep it all friendly and in the heart of good competition.
Yeah, the Matadors got about 20 guys on the bench over there. And they're going to be loud and fired up. Freedom has about 8 guys on the bench, but that they're going to be, vocally about, double that. So it definitely will be another interesting factor to see as this match goes on.
Yeah, and, it's hard to have a good read, but based on what you've seen, if you had to have a read right now, who's going to take this match? What's your call?
Man, hard to say, but I think I might have to take Freedom in 5.
Okay. Because
they don't give up, and they will ride it out long term. They're a long-term team. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep.
And they make the good adjustments, and I think Freedom in 5 is what I'm going to take.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And what I'm gonna go ahead and lean, I think Freedom as well. And 5 sounds like a safe call. I like that. I'm actually going to go ahead and go with 4, though. I think that the big difference we're going to see here is that Freedom is going to be a lot more even-keeled on the emotion. And so I'm really relying on that from my outside perspective. So
yeah, I agree. I think they will be a little more emotionally stable, but Matadors will take advantage and they'll be able to ride that emotion and possibly turn it into some strong momentum as this match goes on.
We're getting the starting lineups right now, so we're taking a quick look at that.
I think the lineup cards are in. Balls are being collected. Both teams kind of coming up with their final strategies here before we get started. Nick, what do we got here for a starting lineup for Team Freedom?
All right, so we're going to see something a little more, it's going to be somewhat familiar here, but the big changes we're going to see is number 4, Matt Elias, is going to be a new setter for these guys. We're also going to see on the outside, I believe, is Landon Shorts. Yeah, he's there outside. Opposite of him, we're going to see number 9, Chris Vaughn. No surprise there. On the right side is going to be Sam Albus. And then we've got John Cunningham listed in the opposite color jersey. And that's going to put Jake Modesto, number 2, up front. I'm not sure yet who that other middle is. I think we're going to see it unfold. If I had to guess, it's probably, well, it's either going to...
Most likely it's Seifert.
Yeah, I would say Seifert's a safe bet here. So we'll see exactly what's going to go there. And we're going to find out the Matadors soon enough. All right, we're getting the Matadors lineup right now as well. And that's going to be giving us in the middle, we're going to see Patrice Martin. And on the outsides, we're going to have Christian Encarnacion. No surprise there. We're going to also have Diego Bustos in that second spot. We're going to see Jair as the starting right side. Once again, not too surprised. We're going to see Jesus Serrano opposite of him as the starting setter. This is what they were doing yesterday. And then that's going to put Lazaro Fernandez as their second middle blocker. And then they're going to be having 2 guys in the red jerseys here. That's going to be, to no surprise, Jose Molero, their all-star libero. And then Mario Meza wearing the second jersey. So we'll see if they end up going with a 2 libero system here. I think that there's not a whole lot of surprises here. Based on what we're seeing, I'm curious to see how Freedom handles their second setter, how well he's able to run this offense coming out of Juniata College.
I'm a little surprised to see that Matt Elias is getting the nod on this to start this match, this quarterfinal game. He didn't play this morning. He played yesterday in place of Dunn. But, you know, it's all about matchups, and I think the strategy is clear and concise, and that's what the coach is trying to get.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Dunn is one of those guys you can count on being a leader on the court, but off the court as well. So with a guy like Elias, he's a physical player. And so I think that we're not, you know, it's going to be a different look, but I'm not worried at all. The captain steering the helm of the ship here is not going to get it taken care of for him.
Yeah, it gives up a slight disadvantage in the height department versus his teammate Dunn. But, you know, the placement and the leadership role is what's important.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No. After you.
I was just going to say, you know, we're going to see a return to Cunningham here in the libero, and definitely excited to see him play. He's a big guy, but he really holds it down back there. He plays some aggressive defense, and he's a real rock and serve receive. So we're going to see if Freedom is able to execute here on their plan to all around isolate and remove number 11 from serve receive.
Yeah, they want to keep the ball away from Molero for sure. Obviously, he's the premier libero in this league, I'd say, although there's some very good competitive liberos in this conference and throughout this tournament. So it'll be interesting to see how well they can execute the game plan of keeping the ball away from him. Yeah,
and you know what's so impressive about him is not just his physical abilities, but his abilities to be a leader and a guy that provides a lot of confidence and calm, cool, collected feel for this team. So we'll see how that develops as this match goes.
Yep.
Float serve goes down to Bustos. That's a big swing out of Encarnacion. Unsure who's going to take a swing there, whether it was going to be Bustos, but Encarnacion takes an aggressive swing and steps in, rips that ball into the deep corner and unable to be dug by Freedom.
I think he said, get out of my way, that's my set, and I'm going to crush it for the first point.
Love that assertiveness.
Yeah, nice heads up play by Encarnacion.
That serve's going to go long. little bit of a shock there. Jesus Serrano, both setters that we see most from Matadors. That's going to be Serrano as well as Kevin Rodriguez. Both of them very physical, even though they're smaller, and they love hitting their jump serves from back there. Jump serve for Freedom comes in, overpass from Malero. Free ball goes up, and big swing down the line from number 6 there. Sam Albas turning it on early.
Yeah, I think that's an uncharacteristic error for the Matadors and Malero on an overpass.
Absolutely.
On the his first pass attempt here, but that was a nice jump serve from Landon Shorts.
Shorts goes up once again, sends the one just a bit long. But you know, honestly, if your first serve goes against Malero, gets the overpass, you've got the green light as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. Go there again, give it a ride, see what you can get, and yeah, absolutely, green light. That's an acceptable error.
Bustos with a short serve, hits the tape. Great pass by Cunningham, handled. Tip shot comes out the side, dug out of the back row. Matadors go up and swing. Jair finds a swing down the line, and Jair is about 6'10". He's able to find a nice mismatch there in the front row, swinging into the outside hands of number 9 from the Freedom.
Yeah, Jair 6'10", about 260 maybe. Yeah. He's a big boy, and he's got a cannon for an arm. And look to him to carry a serious load here for the Matadors as this match goes on.
There's another pass to Cunningham, goes up, and they look to try and establish the middle there, but Seifert not quite able to connect.
I like that play. I like Freedom's attempt to set the middle early on. I like that matchup of Seifert against number 1 for the Matadors. That's Patrice. So look for that to maybe even repeat the middle hitter right here, just to kind of establish that confidence in him.
That's a good pass by Short, and there it is. Middle blocker knows best. Free ball coming over. Setter takes first ball. Ball goes outside. Albus blocked, dug up. Cunningham's going to back set outside. There's a big swing, but dug by the Matadors. Chop shot coming from Encarnacion, dug into the net. And there's Seifert not quite turning to find that second ball.
Yeah, well done by the Matadors. You can see them playing out the entire play. They're not. There are some basketball games going on in this gym, and there are a couple other whistles going on in the background. And I think Freedom maybe thought that one of our electronic whistles got blown during that play because they all kind of stopped for a second.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Good pass by Cunningham, though. And they go to outside. Number 9 gets a big swing. I like to see Chris Vaughn with that return there.
Yeah, they're going to need some production from him today for sure on the outside, left side attacking.
Yeah.
He's one of their better offensive players. He's a bit of a passing liability, but look to him to be explosive in the front row and the back row.
Put up 22 kills, if I'm not mistaken, in their 4-set win this morning. So, I mean, that's over 5 kills a set. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's a little tip shot coming out. We're going to see Seifert air ball out. And Freedom gets blocked into the deep court there, Sam Albus. And that's a nice block there from number 1, Martin Patrice.
Yeah, nice block by him. Good set by Seifert, but someone does need to get on the floor and cover that ball.
Yeah.
Landed about 20 feet deep. Got to get someone back there trying to sweep that up.
I think with the libero off the court, some of that communication not quite there. Good pass, goes all the way back to Albus, one-on-one. Encarnacion puts up a pretty solid one-on-one block, able to get a touch, but not quite one that can be controlled.
It was a good touch by Encarnacion there. He made a late dive to the angle. Again, we talked about it earlier. Let's establish the fact that we're going to take away the meat of the court and prove that the opposite, like Albus, can hit line.
Especially if you got Malero behind you, I'm giving him 3 feet of line. Please, please hit at him by all means.
1,000,000% agree with that, Nick.
So with Sam Albus on the back line, we're now going to see Matt Elias front row. That's a deep serve there. Team Freedom missing a couple serves. Nothing too concerning yet. Once again, I think some confusion about the whistles based on what he's indicating physically there. Yeah, not sure what the confusion would be, but Freedom needs to settle down a little bit.
These electronic whistles, if they had a little volume control on them or maybe a little bit louder, I think we'd all benefit from it. But, you know, got to make do with what you have.
Jair Santiago, the big serve. And, you know, he's another one of those guys for the Matadors. Matadors don't have a lot of big jump servers. It's kind of their setters, and then there's a lot of float serves across the board. Jair's one of those guys that you do need to green light and allow him to swing big.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got the arm to do it, and he does have a pretty strong serve. So.
Float serve in, Matadors pass well, goes outside, Encarnacion tips over the top. Cunningham makes a diving play, chipped in, kept alive. Jair has to make a move into the net. Free ball coming over, and now Freedom's running their offense. They go to the back row, Bick. That ball is in. That's a huge swing from Chris Vaughn. We saw a pretty athletic play from Cunningham coming across the court, jumping over one of his guys, making sure that ball stayed alive.
Yeah, great big attack by number 9 right there. You see on your screen Chris Vaughn flying out of the back row in transition, but that would not have been able to happen if Cunningham hadn't made that diving save.
That's a good pass up there for Matadors, and Encarnacion swing angle. And, you know, we were talking a lot about with the Tyrants match that we saw earlier today, where there's a lot of swings into the angle, and Belvin with Blaze this morning. Encarnacion lives and dies by his angle attack. I want to see Freedom take that away and make him swing that line.
Yeah, I think that was a good lineup by the blockers. However, Matt Elias is going to be giving up quite some distance on his block versus Encarnacion, so that's definitely a matchup to watch.
Great tight pass, but Elias handles that wonderfully. Great set to the outside to number 13 there. Landon Shorts gets the benefits of that one. And that's going to be our first TV timeout here, as we're almost tied up, but it's going to be 8-7 Matadors with a 1-point lead.
Yeah, that was a nice swing down the line there. Jair playing right back. Maybe a little liability on defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a big boy. He's got a long way to go to get kind of down in that ready position. It might hit his arm, hit his knee. He might get a ricochet, but I'm not sure who hit that ball down the line. I think it might have been Landon Shorts.
It was Shorts, yeah.
But that was a nice swing, and I'd like to see him continue to do that.
Yeah, and if you're on the bench right now for Team Freedom, one of the things I'm pointing out to my outside hitters is just exactly what you said. Jair back there is not going to be very mobile. So if you're getting trap set or you get a double block in front of you that you're not ready to handle, the tip shot over the top, you're going to get one of two results. You're either going to get a kill because Jair's unable to get it, or you're going to bring Encarnacion or the front row outside out of system because he's got to come pick that ball up.
Yeah.
But while we're getting ready with this, I do want to say a huge thank you to the NVA sponsor with our ball, Mikasa. They've been providing a ton of balls and some great equipment for us to be using all weekend here in the Utah Athletic Center. So a big thank you to Mikasa as well as the Utah Athletic Center. Both of them have made this event possible. And we're really excited to see how this progresses. You know, to be 8-7 right now, just these teams are both exchanging blows. We see quite a bit of discipline. We've seen some teams in the morning matches start off by missing a lot of inexcusable serves, and we're seeing missed serves here, but I don't dislike the people missing them the way they're missing them.
They're aggressive misses, and I think those are acceptable misses, especially when you're jump serving.
Yeah, and when you know these lineups, the guys missing are the guys that need to be hitting those serves, and the rest of the team is serving in a way that they're able to go after them.
Right, 100% agree with you, Nick.
This is going to be Modesto on the back line here. He hits that float serve deep, passed well by the Matadors, goes outside, and that's a big swing, but no touch. Good disciplined block there by Seifert, closes it out, and Bustos is looking for some high hands.
Yeah, Bustos with his first swing attempt there in this match, and looking for the high hands, the fingertips, probably just missed it, but, you know, forcing him to pass and then also hit takes him out of his rhythm, so that was a good serve by Modesto.
Yep. Modesto hits the float serve down the line once again. Burgos passes and backside to Jair, and Jair swings in the line. That was definitely a very physical swing. I mean, that's what you want to see. He cranks his whole body behind that ball.
Yeah, that was a nice aggressive swing. To see him hit that ball down the line early on in the match, that bodes well for the Matadors.
Oh, yeah.
Showing that he has that range already, especially out of the back row.
Yeah, and what we're going to see now is we got another back row middle here on the side of Matadors. This is going to be Lazaro Fernandez back there, and he's going to hit this float. It's a good float. Bailed out to the outside, and the Matadors were looking for a bit of a call on a deep dish set, but Matt Elias able to get that one out clean without a call, and that's a huge swing down the line by Landon Shorts.
Yeah, he got up really high for that one, but the amount of begging, or shall we call it selling, of the calls that the refs are, you know, supposed to be doing, just play the game.
Yep.
You know, don't play for the whistle, don't beg for the call, and work hard and get an ace like that.
And this is something that I was kind of hedging my bets on when I was asking for those early game predictions. I think the Freedom guys are a bit more disciplined when it comes to that. They're not going to ride the emotional roller coaster, and you know, to see an ace answer back, we always ask for smart serves. Matt Elias going back there and hitting that serve is exactly what we want to see. That's a big swing out of the middle over a triple block, but dug by Cunningham, goes back to the Bix, and that's picked up by Cunningham. We got a scrap here. Cunningham sets outside, and that's going to be a big deep swing picked up by Encarnacion. Jair takes his swing, goes off the block, moves them out of the way, and says, "This is my turn." A lot of great defense there by both teams.
Just get out of his way. I mean, he is a freight train coming through from the back row, and he is putting some serious heat behind that swing.
Absolutely. We're seeing some great covering on both sides. Encarnacion on the side of the Matadors with some great digs. He got 2 or 3, I think, there in that play.
Yeah, that was a great rally.
Good float serve coming. Cunningham handles it well, and Seifert gets up big, tries to find a tip, set by the libero, number 11 there. Pin finds it, kept alive. Matadors one-handed set back, too short. Jair goes and pokes it over. Set gonna go back to the backside, landed short, chisels it down the line. Mulero is not quite able to keep a hold of it. This is exciting volleyball.
Yeah, high-level volleyball right now. 2 really good rallies. You see some scramble plays. You see some great digs. You see Cunningham laying out for some digs. Some hard-hitting balls, some good deflections on the block, and some nice cagey wrist-away side spin action on that ball that caught Mulero off guard.
Landon short with his jump serve going on right now. Hits it big, and that's going to be passed up in the middle of the court. High ball goes out. That's too tight. Jair not able to pull that out. I really want to compliment the service pressure here by both teams. I think the teams really know when it's time to pull the trigger and when not to. And that's a great swing after, honestly, the fact that Landon Short pulled that out of the, he ran into the equipment to pull that last rally out. Yeah. That was a great move, goes back, hits that same serve.
Yeah, to stay on that serving point, throughout this tournament, we've seen some teams that are really relying on their serve, and they're able to do that because their servers are consistent.
Yeah.
Some of these other teams, the ones that aren't playing right now, that are done, that are packing their bags, they were not consistent with their serves in any department, whether it be a jump float or a standing float or a green lit jump serve.
Yeah.
So really placing a premium on the jump serve itself and the pressure from the inline, that will pay dividends for your team, and you need to be reliable with that serve and be aggressive with it.
Absolutely, and something I'm really excited to see with the NVA as it grows is these teams are in the gym year long, and so it's not going and bringing someone in and hoping that they can hit the same jump serve they were hitting in college 3 years ago. It's guys that are trying to practice this 2-3 nights a week, make sure that they're consistent.
Player development, talent development, skill development, all that stuff is super important to become a better volleyball player and a better team.
And we're seeing that consistency here, so really excited to see that as this league continues to grow and develop.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to see, I think Landon Short still on the back line. Yes, he is. See how he comes out of this timeout. Looked great up until the contact there, and then it floated off.
Yeah, just maybe a touch overly aggressive after a timeout. I think it's okay to turn it down a notch. Go back a little bit. Just make sure you get a good solid swing on it. Doesn't have to be a clean ace. Doesn't have to be harder than the one before. That timeout iced work. That's a coaching point.
Diego Bustos goes with the float serve there, and that's a Seifert swing into the deep corner, and that's awesome.
That's what I like to see out of the middle blockers, hitting the back line, aiming for the corners, not trying to hit the ball straight down. You'll get those opportunities to do that, but in that play, deep and in is just as good. It scores a point either way.
Something I want to keep an eye on here, Matadors traditionally don't have a lot of jump servers, so they're relying on a lot of float serving. And when you have a lot of float servers, you really want to be critical about where you're sending those float serves. So far, they seem to have been targeting Cunningham, and Cunningham has not been out of system at all with those serves, so I'm a little curious to see if they make that adjustment, if that's intentional, or see how that develops, because I don't think that's the best choice so far.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one, but nice quick hitter attack side out for the Matadors. I'd like to see Modesto maybe commit on that one, start playing a couple games, trying to get in front of his hitter and maybe get a block here early on.
Yep. Set goes quick, and that's going to be blocked well. There you see it. Okay, that ball was in fact called down. And that's a big block by Lazaro Fernandez. I think I saw a little help out from Jair there, pull it in to help on that 31.
Yeah, that was it. Running a 31 towards 2 really big blockers might not be the smartest choice. You got Chris Vaughn out left in front, and you got Albus overhead.
There's the Albus set, and looks like a big touch over Encarnacion, but he gets no call there.
I thought I saw a touch on that.
Yeah, you and I
one,
both thought we saw it, but no call.
It's not, so.
We'll go with the boys in blue for that one.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to be a service back there for Martin Patrice. Float down the line, handled by Chris Vaughn. Backside again for Albus, and he swings that one. There's the touch we were talking about previously, and that's going to tie the game at 14 here for Freedom.
Yeah, nice high challenge swing by Albus there to kind of correct his error on the one before. Reached high, hit it deep, got a nice touch, and ricocheted out of bounds.
Right now, I would not be surprised, depending on this pass, to see a set go back to Jair. But you've also got a mismatch with the shorter setter with Matt Elias front row with Encarnacion up front. But no need to set a hitter if you don't have to pass the ball.
Yeah, we need to get our first serve in. Matt Albus here, he's a good server. It's only going to help him. It's not that he's got to take no heat off or all the heat off and just roll a shot it in. Put it 60, 70% in and build something, you know, create some opportunities for yourself to go on a service run.
Yep. And with that, we see that double sub coming in like we were talking about. So we're going to see Jacob Vanderbeek coming in now, number 18 front row, and with him, Kevin Rodriguez on the back service line. So that's going to be putting a server on the backside, change some matchups, and dug well there by Bustos. Set goes outside to Encarnacion, swings wide, and no touch call, just wide of the blocker. So when you see a 6-2 like this come in at a high level, what these teams are looking to do later on in the match is they're wanting to make sure that they have their setter back row as long as possible. And the Matadors have two shorter setters, so they're wanting to trust the sub to come in, keep Vanderbeek front row, and see if they're able to pull ahead and create a lead for themselves. So
yeah,
we'll see if it works.
The philosophy of the double sub, you kind of saw it develop in international volleyball. You keep 3 hitters through the front row all the time, and you always have a back row setter. So when you do have some of those shorter setters that you are a liability to go through the front row, you do that double sub that you constantly have 3 hitters across the front.
And can you explain for our viewers how the subbing back in works? Because you can only do it one time.
So there's a total number, I believe, of 3 substitutions, and that's 3 players can alternate for one another through the set.
Yep.
So once you go in, you have to go back out for the same player, and there's only 3 of those actions allowed per team per set.
Right, so what that means is they can't just keep doing this 6-2 set all match. They're going to get one rotation that they get to give it a go. And so what we see as a result is the Matadors is opting to do this in the later part of the match. So they're trying to create a lead doing this strategy. And I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. We've seen this all tournament long.
Well, yeah, and they should probably re-sub out the double sub to get back to the rotation that they had previously.
But that's essentially going to give them 9 rotations of front row right sides.
Right, that's correct, with 3 hitters all the way across the front. But Vanderbeek, we just saw, had a hitting error. So unfortunately, that's not beneficial for the Matadors. And Freedom kind of creates a 1-point lead. Yeah,
and we've got Jeff Vautrin in as a serving sub. Comes up and cranks the ball. That's what you want to see off the bench. That's a veteran swing. Finds it down the line between the front row outside and the libero. Miscommunication. Those two are trying to figure that out right now, but that's a great serve right there.
Yeah, that's something that we haven't seen all tournament, a non-communicative ace between the seam players of Malero and Bustos. And coach is not pleasantly happy with that, so Bustos gets the yank in for number 4, who hasn't seen a lot of PT time through this tournament. So.
Yeah, that's Oscar Tuero. He played a bit the first day, but if I recall correctly, a little bit of a weaker passer, and that's where they've gone to Bustos in the backside, trying to create a different look. So there's a good pass by Malero. Goes to the quick. Stopped by Team Freedom. Dug up, backside, and that's going to be Vanderbeek taking a second swing. Dug by Tolero on that side. He's going to go up and take his swing. Dug on the backside by Freedom. Hits the girder, and there's dug by, put over by Short. Put in system for the Matadors, backside once again to Vanderbeek, and that is going to score a point. Seifert not quite able to read that off the ceiling there.
Yeah, great rally back and forth. Seifert with the heads-up play. The ball kind of came back. He saw everybody looking up, realized that it was coming to him, so he took it. But nice bounce back by Vanderbeek there to kind of end that longer rally.
Tulero also had some great off-blocker defense there, picking up some of those cover balls, and good to see that extension of the rally off the bench. Cunningham ace with a float serve coming in off of, I believe that's the middle, number 8 there, yep. Lazaro Fernandez going cross court, finds Cunningham on the outside of his platform. Good ace. Just
kind of caught Cunningham maybe a little bit up high or low, depending on how his body was positioned, but uncharacteristic shank by Cunningham there.
Yep, and they go right back. There it is, good pass. They're right in system for Freedom, and that's Landon Short going up, sending a ball over to us here at the casting booth. He put that ball hard cross court inside the 10-foot line, and not just inside the 10, that was almost the middle of the court.
Landon Short's right there on your screen, number 13. Not the most physically intimidating player on the court, but man, he can fly, and he's got a lightning of an arm swing.
That was one of the most straight down balls we've had from an outside this tournament.
Yes, it was.
Set goes to the outside. Tulero has to chip a ball, but Seifert finds a touch block. Second ball to Tulero, and Seifert finds another touch, but gets used on that one.
Yeah, unfortunate ricochet there. Kind of went probably between the arms and off Matt's head, it looked like. And, you know, it was a good lineup, good form, but here you go. We're going to get our double sub back out.
First up comes Vanderbeek, and we see the return of setter Jesus Serrano, and then we're going to see Kevin Rodriguez coming out for Jair Santiago.
Some formalities there with the
little chalkboard,
with the paddle.
Yeah. Now, something to keep your mind on, just kind of as gameplay, like state of the game. Something that if we see the first ball back row gets taken by the setter, number 11, Jose Molero, is extraordinarily comfortable setting his hitters from anywhere on the court with a bump set. So keep an eye on that. Big swing there from Albus. A little mistalk about who should cover that ball. Matt Elias goes for it. Kept alive by Landon Short there. Quick set back by Jair. Jair swings wide, and that ball is just not in the court. Some disagreement, but I saw that one wide as well. Team Freedom, though, needs to figure that out. Elias should be out of the way there because he's got his libero next to him, and that's gonna let Elias set that ball.
Yeah, look, hard to say if that ball was in or out. He got a lot of heat on that one, and I didn't have a good look at it. So, Nick, I'll go with you. It was out, but
I'm going with the boys in blue. So.
As they say, the ball never lies. Apparently, it was in as that serve gets hit out long.
Matt Elias still back row, so that's going to give you Sam Albus in the front row, and we're going to see Jair Santiago. So lots of offensive threats here. Good pass goes up, and that's the back set to Albus. One-on-one with Encarnacion. Swing goes in. I think I saw a little touch there too. Not that it ends up mattering, but that's a great option there. I like to see a setter that confidently goes back, keeps his team in system. Yeah, that was a nice swing by Albus. Jesus Serrano back there playing right back defense. I think he wants to play defense, but at the same time, he doesn't want to get hit by the ball. He started to duck, but then realized that there was maybe a touch on the block, and he probably should have stuck in there and tried to dig that ball. Served down the line by Seifert, finds Tulero. Tulero gives the ball up, and Encarnacion swings. Seifert gets a hand dig. Landon Short with a set to the outside. Chipped in, dug by Molero in the back row. We see a back set and a Tulero, maybe over, but set goes outside here. Albus absolutely grabs the ball. Could have been trap set there. Encarnacion went left-handed with a fist. Yep. Not something that's going to be probably that beneficial or a good attempt at scoring a point. Would have liked to have seen him maybe try for a swipe off the block out of bounds. But nonetheless, give the point to Freedom, and now they have a 2-point lead here late in this first set. Yeah, it's definitely a good position to be in, and something that was really notable with that block. You often hear about taking away court, but in a tight set like that, you take away the ball. You want to put your hands around that ball, surround it completely so that any motion that gets made, whether they try to take a hard swing or even if they go for that swipe, you're able to surround the ball completely. That was a great move by Sam Albus there. Yeah, absolutely. He saw the ball was super tight, so he just went up both hands, put both hands around the ball, and didn't let Encarnacion go anywhere with it, and just made sure that whatever came his way, he was protecting the ball and not letting it get tooled out of bounds. Yeah. Very disciplined, pretty solid rotation there from, I believe, is it Seifert still serving? I believe it is. He got a nice scoop on that last play. Yeah, he did. Still got the right to serve. And we see Modesto making some athletic moves to the outside pin. He knows that right now Encarnacion is the go-to hitter, so good move there. But right now, if you're Matadors, I think the move is you go backside. I think you give Jair Santiago a look right now and see if he's able to beat the right side block there with Chris Vaughn. Yeah, look for maybe a little 3-5 action, run a front 31 with the back right set. Seifert's been fairly reliable with his jump float serve, so good down the line. Good Tulero puts him out of system. Encarnacion's gonna have to roll shot it down. Takes out the setter though. Seifert puts it back, and Chris Vaughn chips it in, keeps it alive. Oh wow, I didn't see that one on the depth perception. He puts that one out of bounds and uses the block. Yeah, that was a cheeky little tool off the block there, kind of ran under it and tipped it into the block out of bounds. I thought he was just resetting the play, which I was still very impressed with, but he won up that even more. Seifert, once again, that was a great float serve last time, put them out of system there. He goes down the line, Molero saves that. Outside to Encarnacion, goes down the line, dug by Matt Elias. Seifert's gonna take that once again, goes to Sam Albus. Ball goes high off hands. Encarnacion looking for a bailout. And there's some exchanging of words here. Team Freedom trying to keep it on their side of the court, but I didn't see one, did you? No, the ball clearly hit the net. It was not the libero, or not the player from Team Freedom, and Encarnacion cannot stop in the middle of a play and start yelling at the referee and begging for a net call. Yeah. Only takes himself completely out of the game, and you can see the emotions starting to spike a little bit. Down by 4 points, and they're about to lose this first set. And right now, one thing I really want to, well, we'll address a little bit in terms of serving targets. Remind me, serving targets during the break. We'll talk about how these teams are using that. That's all right for Seifert. I mean, he's been ripping some very flat, aggressive serves. You hate to see it missed on game point, but when you built yourself up a nice little 3 or 4 point lead.
Yeah, never want to miss a serve on game point. We've been saying that, one of the rules of serving. We have a service set coming in, so he's going to have a chance to serve at set point as well, just the other direction.
Yep.
And cold off the bench, here comes number 13.
Carlos Serrano.
I think they're brothers.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was wondering that when I saw it the other day.
They're from the same hometown.
Yeah, both from Guadalajara, Mexico. Big swing, tight pass there. Matt Elias gets up, and that's going to be 4 contacts. Not quite able to connect with Modesto there.
That's a great effort by Matt Elias, as he's the back row setter.
Yeah.
I'd almost like to see him go up and then pull his hands down last second and
see
see the ball fall.
Yeah, see if he gets someone. That's going to be a Team Freedom timeout. So what I was talking about there, when we were seeing that nice run there by Seifert, Seifert was really being aggressive with his float serve, and right now Tulero early on in the tournament was he was starting, and the reason he was being pulled was because he was being targeted by teams as the 0-2 that just couldn't quite pass. He's 6'8", very large physically, but good adjustment here by Freedom, recognizing that immediately that's their serving target. So if you're float serving, that's your guy. And I think Matadors need to just still do a little bit of a better job finding their guy. Like I said, they've been going after Cunningham, and they did get that 1 ace.
They need to find their guy, but they also need to stay a little bit in a more emotional control.
Yep.
Okay. You can't start yelling at the referee halfway through a play because you think you saw somebody net.
Yep.
Right. That's just unexcusable. So look for them to try to kind of calm it down a little bit, reel in their emotions a little bit, and they're still down by 2 points, but they're serving, so give themselves the chance to block a ball here. Yeah, and
Carlos Serrano coming back again. He already served 1 great ball off the bench, so we'll see if he's able to break the ice once again out of that timeout. Big serve does so. Cunningham passes well. Matt Elias to the outside, and that's a big swing by number 9 there. Very, very well hit by Chris Vaughn. Vaughn, you were saying how physical he can be as a player. And I think he delivered on that completely in that match.
You know what? I saw some great physical play from the outside hitters for Team Freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, Landon Shorts has come in and he has made a huge impact. He is flying. He is attacking the ball. We saw him put down a 8-foot bounce to the left side. His arm is fast and he can jump. Right. We're kind of ragging on him for being maybe a little bit on the scrawny side, or shorter, or whatever, not quite physically as intimidating as some of these guys. But he's making a real good contribution and an impact here.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is he's replacing who we saw earlier was Josue Castillo. And Josue is, once again, a relatively undersized outside hitter. So to see, another small one come in, but just still be effective, this really speaks to the depth of Team Freedom. And you hear Justin about it in the pregame. He's very confident that, we were both a little surprised when they said they were going to switch that up, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But he knows he's still playing roster management.
Yeah,
he has enough faith that a little sub going in with Landon Short, he's going to find success. So they're able to save Castillo. 2
switches, you put Matt Elias in a set. He did a great job.
Yeah.
He set a great offense. And then, Castillo for Shorts, and that has definitely paid off for Team Freedom. What about the other side of the court, though? What do they need to do here in Game 2?
It's tough. I think that it's, once again, I was kind of saying this 2 days ago, you really got to find the 0-2 that's going to balance the team needs right now. And before I'm too critical of Tulero, I think some of the guys like Encarnacion and Jair both need to find their swings a little bit more.
Look, I don't think Bustos really did anything wrong to come out of the game, to be honest.
No.
If it's a thing to kind of slow down the momentum, maybe then okay. But put your guy back in, That was a real quick hook.
Yep.
And I think I would like to see him come back in, although it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Who knows what's going on that side of the court in terms of that, taking your starters out early. But
my thing is there is a relative consistency between Encarnacion and Jair and Vanderbeek if they run that option. I'm not too worried about my 0-2 being a killer. I want the passing. And when Freedom's got their guys dialed in, especially with the float servers, they found him early. I think that Tulero might be kind of isolated out of this match as a serving target.
Yeah, Nick, you're totally right. Your 0-2 should be a rock-solid passer, right? And then be able to contribute offensively when his number gets called.
Right.
They're not carrying a heavy offensive load. They're there to pass and play defense and probably chip some points in when they can.
Yeah. But we saw, a couple options going to Tulero early from the back row. Didn't have a lot of success. So you know, again, I don't think he's playing poorly. I just think he's giving Freedom some options on ways to take advantage of the current lineup for the Matadors. We did get a little more insight, though. Olivia, what did you hear during that timeout?
Thanks, Nick. On the Matador side, they're really just not settled. Malero, the libero, has really been trying to rally the guys together. He's like, we just need to settle down. Our energy is really suffering, which is uncharacteristic for them, and that's actually something that Justin Beaumont on the Freedom side had pointed out early. He said these guys come in with so much high energy on the Matador side that they were going to need to match it, and they're doing it right now. And in terms of what Freedom was going to change, Justin Beaumont said, I don't even have anything to say. It's just really the first 1 to 25. Nick?
Thanks so much. And you know what? We're talking about subs. Here's a sub that we didn't see Zach Perry day 2. He was playing 0-2 day 1. They've gone to that option to put Tolero on the bench, see if Zach Perry's able to do something for him. So there was the change of personnel.
Yeah, we'll see if he can contribute like he needs to and stay on the court.
Big serve, pass well. Freedom's in system here, and they go to Seifert. Doug, Jair keeps that alive at the net. Zach Perry takes a swing cold, and he breaks the hands of Cunningham. That's what you want to see your 0-2 chip come out and do.
Look, that's a great smart play by Perry, okay? Out of system set, first swing of the match, just go reach high and hit it deep and see what happens, and that's what worked for him and went through Cunningham's hands.
Yeah, broke his window a bit there. You hate to see that for a libero, but props to Perry for finding that.
Yeah.
That's going to be passed well and goes outside, landed short, and there it is. Once again, he's swinging into that angle. And
yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Malero maybe step into the court one more time on that left side attack from the Team Freedom. That one fell down in front of him, just right, literally in front of him.
Yeah.
And take one more step forward. If it's over his head, it's going to be out of bounds. So.
Set goes to the middle. Blocked by Team Freedom. Going to go back outside here to Jair. Jair's a big swing and right into the lap there of Cunningham. Not quite able to find that lip.
That was a heavy, heavy, heavy hit.
Yeah, you know, it's very easy to be hindsight oriented and say, how is Cunningham not digging that? But if you see that live, the angle he had to hit that swing, that was impressive to say the least.
And Jair just took a step close, jumped and just got everything he could behind it.
Zach Perry with a serve to Cunningham's hands, and Seifert off the hands of the one-on-one block there against Martin Patrice.
Seifert, you know, making his presence felt along the front row here, scoring some points. They're giving him quite a few sets. They're establishing his presence. He's been pretty successful. I'm sure he's got a decent hitting percentage currently.
There's a one-handed stab, perfect pass by Malero, goes up to Jair, dug by Brandon Short. Set goes to the outside for Albus. Falls right in the middle. No one was able to find that dig off the block. And one thing I'm seeing for the first time here actually is traditionally when they start the match, Jair is paired with Jesus Serrano. So they've actually opted to Kevin Rodriguez as the starting setter here. I didn't notice that. And that serve is going to go long. Right into our camera person's lap, and quite a swing there.
Reverse bounce right into the lap. Yeah, but you make a good point there. So you've got Jair and Ramirez together, which is, Rodriguez.
Yep.
And usually it's Jair with Serrano. So, you know, so far it hasn't made caused any kind of hiccups, but it's still early.
Cunningham with a great pass, and we preach it all day long. When you establish your middle early like Seifert did there, he's running that 31, creating the space, but then that set was a nice tempo, flat set over the top. It's going to help hold the middle blocker for the Matadors, create a little one-on-one opportunity, and that's going to be a scoring swing on the outside.
Yeah, that was a good, nice play by Team Freedom.
Set goes outside, Encarnacion ready to answer back. Sam Albus flies by and opens that angle wide open.
Albus was trying to block the antenna on that one, didn't realize that Encarnacion was coming in super hot and could not hit the line. And gave him pretty much the entire court to hit. So.
You talk about good tempo. That ball was on a nice flat line all the way out to Encarnacion. He was ready to take advantage.
Yeah.
Heavy arm of Jair on the back line now. Into the bottom of the tape.
I think he's having a little issue finding that consistency with his jump serve toss.
Yep.
He's pretty close to the end line there, so that might have played a factor. But, you know, so far Matadors not causing a lot of pressure from the end line. And that results in a lack of emotion and momentum from them because Freedom is siding out at a pretty high percentage at the moment.
Yeah, and this is some of the most involved we've seen, you know, the middles for Freedom in a while because they're just so in system. And that's going to be an overpass on the serve there. And that's going to be right back to the outside. If the man is hot, let him play. Chris Vaughn ready to swing.
set your boy right now, hitting against the number 2 Kevin Rodriguez, sorry, number 12. Definite advantage to Chris Vaughn to go OT on the blocking setter.
Yeah,
the Matadors.
Traditionally, Modesto's not been the most offensive threat for Freedom either, so might as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the front row setter, that kind of leaves only Vaughn, and they don't have much of a back row attack.
Well, they don't out of the back traditionally, but Albus, when he's hot out of that D-ball, he can be a nice bailout set for this team, so we will want to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
But he misses his serve there. Encarnacion likes to go float, and he likes to go to the front row outside traditionally, so he's going to try to find Chris Vaughn here, I would expect, on the cross-court float. Landon Short steps in front of Chris Vaughn, has a great pass, lets his boys swing. See,
keep feeding him. He's unstoppable.
That is an impressive serve-receive option. He steps in front of his front row outside so that his entire focus is, how are you going to hit this ball?
Yeah, I don't think that was on purpose. I think Shorts just had a great read, and was able. He got a good jump on it and saw it and tracked it and was able to get a perfect pass.
Good pass by the Matadors. They go up and swing, and that's going to be a net called against Team Freedom. Modesto finds a great block touch, but great block touch is not without a net there, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is unfortunate because that was a good deflection by Modesto. He's a little bit of an undersized blocker in this game, and he's going to need those sort of contributions to his team, but unfortunately he did net on the way back down.
That's going to put number 8 for the Matadors on the back line, and Lazaro Fernandez. He goes for that float serve. Good pass there, and once again, outsides are absolutely balling out for Team Freedom here. It doesn't matter if you're number 9, you're number 13. Set your boys on the left side.
Yeah, Team Freedom is definitely highlighting the blocking matchup over there with number 12 for the Matadors as a liability and taking full advantage of it.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if they need to burn that 6'2 sub early. Throws it back to Jair, and that's a block off the face of Seifert.
Wow.
Back row attack. Yep, there it is. Seifert slamming his forehead.
The forehead block.
Looked like it went left arm, forehead corralled right back over, but that's a good move.
It was effective. Score the point to Team Freedom and give Seifert a block.
Yep. Honestly, it was a pretty athletic set there, too, from Kevin Rodriguez, but just not quite able to be disciplined in the back row swing there. Zach Perry looks like he free ball hands that over. That is a huge front row mismatch for number 13 there. Landon Shorts gets up and over the shorter setter for the Matadors, and that's going to be a timeout. You and I talked about this earlier today. High-level play rarely sees big swings on overpasses because if teams are able to get a block up, you just want to redirect the ball as fast as possible. And that's what Landon Short was able to do. Gets up over the blocker there, throws it down quickly back where it came from, and no one's home.
The jumping ability of Landon Shorts continues to impress.
Oh, absolutely. That was standing, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he had an approach there, so that was just a standing 2-footed jump. Goes up, grabs that, and he was pits over the net.
I'd like to get on his jump program if I was about 20 years younger. It could have helped me get a little bit higher during my playing days. So I think we're taking this as a TV timeout and not a team timeout that was called by the Matadors.
That's a bailout, honestly, for the Matadors, because given the state of this match, they are definitely going to benefit from a little bit of a breather, get the guys off the court, because you got a 4-point lead developing for Team Freedom. They are in stride right now.
That's a nice free timeout for the Matadors to kind of talk about it, figure out what's going on. Kevin Rodriguez has got to do something with his blocking because he's being highlighted over there and really taken advantage of by Team Freedom. Their left side attackers are kind of having a heyday by hitting over him.
Yeah, absolutely, and that can, I mean, there's a lot of ways to solve a problem like that, whether it's going for more aggressive serves, trying to isolate who you're going after to maybe change the look so that it's not just an in-system set ball to the outside, because right now, Team Freedom, even on the in-system, they're not going to their middles. They're just hucking the ball outside and letting their guys swing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Matt Elias is well aware of what his hitter matchups are versus their blockers and fully exposing the weakness on the Matadors' block and defense.
Yeah, well said. Float serve out of the timeout here. Zach Perry puts it up high in the middle of the court, and he goes for his swing, but that's going to hit the antenna on the way through. And that's going to be a point for Team Freedom.
Yeah, a nice healthy swing there by Zach Perry. He just, caught a tiny little tick of the antenna, and that's out of bounds. His second swing of the night, I'm okay with that error. It wasn't gross, it was just a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, and I think Matt Elias set that block pretty well, showed enough line to test Zach Perry, but it was well closed by Seifert as well, so it's a good look for them. Nice float, or nice short serve here, but there's Zach Perry challenging and saying, you know, I still can't hit that line, missed it last time, but not twice.
Yeah, good repeat there by the Matadors to go back to him. Let him develop some confidence in his attacking. Proved that was a little bit of a fluke. Nice short serve. Zach Perry passed that ball and then came right back and scored the point offensively.
Now Matadors has been able to rotate their setter into the back row, so we're going to see Jair front row. That's going to be a better look for them. Big jump serve, though, well in system. Matt Elias goes to Seifert. Seifert blasts the ball, and that's going to be a net from Landon Short. He knows it's him. And Jair able, with his size, to just get a quick one-handed slam over the net and kind of accelerate that ball.
Yeah, great awareness by Jair there. That was a nice offensive attack by Seifert, but a better dig and a nice heads-up play by Jair.
That was a great dig back row there by Rodriguez, especially stepping in after his serve. There it is once again. It's going to be an overpass by Vaughn. Set to the outside. Zach Perry once again. That's a one-handed dig up by Sam Albus. Albus falling, and that is an athletic play from Matt Elias to keep it alive. Seifert with a touch block in the middle. Rodriguez goes to the backside. Jair swings down the line off the chest of Cunningham. Once again, Albus tips it over the net. Freedom has kept this alive. Set goes to the outside. Zach Perry takes his chance, and that's a block touch by Matt Elias that is unable to be kept alive, just barely falls over the net as Team Freedom was not able to penetrate on that block.
Yeah, wow, what a rally there. Whew. Chaos everywhere, bodies flying left and right.
I think I just sold 3 pieces at an auction on that one.
Serious full strength swing and attacks and block deflections all the way around. Nicely played by both teams.
Yep, there it is. We're still going to see Rodriguez on the back line, and he's creating a good run here for the Matadors. Set goes outside and chiseled off the block. Apologies there. I thought I heard a whistle, and I wasn't sure if there was an out of rotation or something being called, but what was getting Team Freedom earlier just got me right there. But that's a great swing on the outside for number 13 there, Shorts.
Yeah, nice swing by Shorts. Gets him back in rhythm a little bit. He hadn't said his name for a little while there, so let's see what Matt Elias can do from the inline now.
Not a whole lot.
That's unfortunate. That's a rally killer a little bit, although the Freedom do have a 2-point lead, so hopefully they can side out. They're passing the ball well.
Yep.
Weathering the jump serves. This is going to be Perry's first serve, I think, so we're not too sure what to see from him.
Yeah, it's going to be a float down the across court, actually. Finds Short. That's a good serve. Albus swings deep, finds a deflection off of Malero. Malero unable to pick it up.
That was a nicely formed 3-man block. Let's see, Chris Vaughn, who hit that ball? Was that Shorts? Shorts hit that ball right at Malero. Malero's upset at himself for not digging that ball.
Yeah. During that, we got a little more insight from Olivia. Olivia, what do you hear?
Thanks, Nick. Just something to watch and keep an eye on. Malero, the libero for the Matadors, he was a little banged up on a recent play. You see the tape as he walks off at the court on that right pinky. He took a ball with his hands and it actually split the skin between his pinky and his ring finger. So he's a little beat up over there. Just something to keep an eye on.
That's got to be a pretty hard hit dig. Then again, some of these guys, the air's a little dry here. Skin might be splitting too for some of the guys they might be used to. Big high set though. And Jair Santiago swings through that triple block. That's a heck of a swing from him.
Listen, we've got some big dudes doing some big things with their arms on this ball, so I'm not that surprised that Molina split his skin between his fingers, because these dudes are hitting the ball real hard.
Yeah, and speaking of hitting the ball real hard, Jair Santiago moves a triple block for that swing. Set goes outside there, and Jair able to get a touch. Matt Elias getting set, and we're going to get called for under, I believe, on the turn from Chris Vaughn. He swung, and when he turned, they're calling him under on a foot plant there.
It's hard to tell if he was inside the court on that, but go with the guy in blue. I don't think he would have called it if he didn't have a good view of it. I've been in plenty of matches with Joe, the down ref here, and it looks like he for sure saw something that was against the rules, and Team Freedom's going to call a quick timeout.
Now, Freedom doing their best to control the pace of the game with that timeout, and like we said, this is where Matadors, you know, early on I was saying that Matadors, I was predicting they were going to take the first one on their ability to kind of get fired up game one. Maybe we're going to see it in game two, and that's where they're getting a little bit of confidence right now with the big swing out of Jair on the side there. And so you really want to nip that bud if you're Freedom, but Matadors right now, full throttle. Find your guys, find Jair, whatever you can do, keep that rolling. You want to create about a 2-point lead right now out of this timeout. Energy high, and see if you can kind of create that and start snowballing a lead.
Yeah, so emotionally, a little bit of lull here by the Matadors throughout the first half of the second set. They came out of the gates real high emotionally, matched by Team Freedom, and then eventually Team Freedom wins that first set. So kind of the wind has been gone, let out of their sails. They're starting to find it now.
Yeah.
Jair's got some big hits. He's got a couple of blocks. They've won the longer rallies. They're starting to kind of create some momentum. You can feel the momentum sort of shifting over to the Matador side now. And they do need to win this set. They need to keep it close in order to maintain that emotional momentum so that all of the wind does not get sucked out of their sails.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming down from an 0-2 is going to be a tough spot to be in for anyone in this situation. And anyone who wins this is going to be finding themselves playing a 1 seed tomorrow. So I believe whoever's on this side is actually going to be playing the Stunners tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be a match you want to be fresh for. Chris Vaughn on the outside there passes it, and it's going back to Sam Albus.
Yeah, not the best block and defense movement there from the Matadors, lawn and net. I think number 2 is slightly out of position, and he actually did net on his block move. So, you know,
I'm going to attribute that one to Matt Elias, though. Matt went on against the grain there, threw a great quick tempo set back, and big swing from Albus.
I always like seeing setters going against the flow.
Good pass by Perry with his hands. Encarnacion swings cross court and able to beat Seifert on that side angle.
Albus needs to make an adjustment on his blocking because he keeps getting beat hard angle inside his left hand, and he's chasing the ball too far outside of the antenna, and it's not even there.
Right.
And the ball is gone by the time he even makes his blocking move.
And here's that 6-2.
Double sub for the Matadors. Okay, so Jair comes out, Vanderbeek comes in, and Serrano now back to serve.
Float serve goes in, tight serve by Short. And we see, Matt Elias trying to throw up a hand that he knows he's going to have to pull down so he's not called for a back row attack, but not much else he can do there.
Yeah, nice way to take advantage of that overpass from the Matadors. Kind of clean that up. It's a little bit of an uncharacteristic pass from Shorts. He's been pretty reliable so far.
Float serve goes in. Matt Elias goes to the Bick route. And Brandon Short buries that ball deep in the court.
Yeah, nice bounce back play by Shorts there, flying out of the back row Bick, sort of a 40, a little bit of a push Bick. And puts it down for the floor for the point. And we're tied at 15s halfway through the second set.
Yeah, what you'll see a lot of setters do when they're running their big offense, they really work on lining their back row hitter up on a different route than where the middle is. So if you run a push on the middle, you put your middle, on a different lane so that the same blocking move cannot be made to stop them. So that was effective there. There's going to be a big swing from the Matadors, able to side them out. Well swung. I think that was Vanderbeek.
No, that was Encarnacion on the right. And I think the Matadors need him to be making some big, spectacular plays.
Yeah.
When he makes a great play, it's infectious amongst his team, right?
Oh, nice. He changes it up this time, but goes to Cunningham. And big swing by Seifert. Wow. Now, I actually really do like that serve from Encarnacion because it puts the serve receive coming over Elias's head there, but perfect pass by Cunningham. Elias able to spot it.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was Modesto with the kill.
Was it? Oh, it was. Thank you. Sorry about that. Modesto gets up. There's some big dudes. And Modesto goes back. Malero gets a dig on the ground. Elias goes outside. Short goes up to swing. Gets a dig by Encarnacion. Back set. Vanderbeek tries to go for a tip. Doesn't quite find it. And no luck there.
Too cute on that open hand tip a little bit.
Yep.
He had decided to tip that ball before the set even came in his direction.
Yeah. Chris Vaughn here with that float serve. Encarnacion passes well, goes to the outside. Zach Perry gets a good swing. That looked like that was over the net, and there it is. Yeah. Did you see that over?
Hard to tell. I mean, I think since the fact that number 8 grabbed the ball and threw it down as opposed to spiking it,
right,
gave the down ref more time to actually realize that he was over the net.
Yeah, he broke his wrist, and so that's sometimes an indicator that you're over the net, so you're looking to throw that down before you make contact.
Yep. One thing I was always told when I was playing on the beach is that if it was close and you swing and hit it really fast, it's even more difficult to see for the referees to call you over, even if you were.
Yeah.
But if in indoors, obviously, you can reach and play it with an open hand. he reached so far, put his whole hand on the ball and threw it down, actually gave the referees more time to see that he was actually over the net and breaking that violation.
Sure, it's kind of like one of those selling the play kind of things. Sometimes when you get a small touch on a block and you make sure to turn around quickly, celebrate with your team, you don't want to give any indicator that that's what might have happened there. And whether he was over or not, maybe he could have done something a little different.
Yeah, definitely, and that gives the Freedom a nice 2-point cushion here. I think the Matadors coach calls a timeout, wants to regroup his squad. Nothing really serious to say. They're playing pretty good.
Yep.
Semifinals.
Yep.
You lose tonight, you're done going home, and you're watching in the stands or online tomorrow on Sunday wishing that you were playing.
Yeah, and the one thing here that's really stood out to me is I think Team Freedom has, Seifert has been much more offensive, but he's been a little bit quieter throughout the tournament, so they've really found a way to get him involved here. And when you're running a good tempo to the outside, you're really going to make the Matadors blocking scheme work when you can run that 31 and then set over the top to the outside. That makes it a lot harder to make the move.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to see the Matadors sort of mix up their offense with their middles a little bit. Yeah. We didn't see much production from there. We're going to see a couple personnel changes over there in the middle, it looks like. So it'll be interesting to see how they can get involved, in this third set.
Yeah, so after trying 4 different people in that 0-2 spot, we're seeing them settle back in with Tulero as the answer here in game 3. But other than that, looks like we're in the same boat. They're going to switch setters here and go back to Jesus Serrano.
It's very interesting that he hasn't gone back to Bustos, who started the match.
Yeah, I thought Bustos was their best passing option.
Maybe he's having some shoulder issues or back or knee issues. He's maybe not 100% right now, but yeah, to go to Tulero in the 0-2 position. If I'm Team Freedom, I'm chomping at the bit to serve him the ball right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wherever he's out on the court. So, especially as a front row outside right now. Front row outsides are always a great target, but especially when it's him.
Yeah, and I like the serve-receive rotation start for the Matadors because that's going to put their first rotation and have Jair at left front.
Yep.
But, again, you got to side out before you can get there.
And there's Matt Elias doing everything what he should be. A nice float down the line. Doesn't get a great pass there from Tulero, but that is a lot of bettering the ball in the latter half of that contact. Good bump set there by Serrano and
almost start
Jair.
calling Jair the cleaner.
Oh, God.
He just cleaned that one up for Matadors.
Absolutely. There's a foot fault coming through from Serrano, and lets Team Freedom off the hook.
So the brothers Serrano need to clean it up a little bit. We just saw one of them hit the ball into the net to finish off game 2. Game 3 starts with a foot fault. That's an unexcusable error. When you're serving here and it's the 3rd day of the tournament, you should not be foot faulting.
That's a big swing that's handled well by Malero. Encarnacion cranks a ball that's touched by Cunningham, but there's not going to be any pursuit for that there on Matt Elias.
He hits a heavy ball too. There are some big hitters on the Matadors, and there's some big hitters on both sides.
There really are.
Physically, it looks like the Matadors should be in charge. But you know what? You look at a guy like Landon Shorts and Chris Vaughn, those guys, and Albus too, they're all very physical, just in their own different way.
Yep.
And then you have the big meat right there, Matt Seifert, who's able to come through and put some serious, wood on that quick set.
And what I love about Seifert is when he is swinging, for as big as he is, he goes deep corners. He does not try to bounce the ball.
Seifert has the stereotypical body for a middle hitter.
Yep.
Looks like he could be a tight end in the NFL. He's about 6'8", probably 250.
Broad shoulders.
Strong as an ox. Pretty scary looking. Tight haircut. He's holding his own, though.
Bump set here. Jair once again trying to be the cleaner, but not quite able to do it. No touch called. Jair looking for it, but
not that time.
Nope. That's a good blocking move there, though, from Modesto, getting over there and getting a couple hands in front of him.
Look, give credit back over to Seifert. He put a good serve, bad pass from Tulero, led to a bad set to Jair and a hitting error.
Yep.
So it all starts with the serve.
All right, there's a float serve down the line. Tulero goes up, and wow, there's a big swing. And, we're going to need something like that, a little bit more special. We're seeing a big middle attack there from number 17. That's going to be Ismail Alamar. So that's another one of those personnel changes. So yeah, that's a good adjustment.
Good to see him get involved early on in this set. He needs to do something and take advantage of this opportunity that he's getting to get into this match and produce some points for the Matadors.
I like that space created with that 31 route, too. That's good to see. Good pass by Cunningham, goes tight, and there's a big swing. Modesto swings. That's going to be a double contact by Encarnacion. But once again, good on him to see where that ball is coming down, tries to get that first quick contact, but couldn't quite get what he wanted.
And once again, we see a quick attack from the Matadors, followed up by a quick attack from the Team Freedom. So Modesto getting a kill. He hasn't gotten a lot of offensive opportunities, but good to see that he's still ready and gets rewarded for working hard for Team Freedom.
Yeah, and that's been the kind of the flavor of the day. A lot of middles that aren't quite connecting, but we see the setters determined to not let their guy be unspoken for.
Yeah, it's all about, so it's about when you can get it done.
Yeah.
It's not about, you know, how many times, but when you get it done, can you do it when at the time matters the most?
And Short determined to give Modesto a chance to swing there too with a nice, he jams up Encarnacion, gets stuck inside his platform. Overpass comes down and Modesto puts that ball away with authority.
Team Freedom off to a nice start here with a tiny little 2-point lead.
Alba swings into the net and shuts that down real quick.
Yeah.
Olivia, during that timeout, I think you heard some talk from the teams. What'd you hear?
Thanks, Nick. On the Matador side, Coach has stressed the same message the entirety of this match. He said, we are not playing our game. We're not playing with confidence. He's tried to inject some different players to maybe get a different look, but he hasn't liked what he's seen so far. So he's really looking for them to settle in and do some things well that they've done in their previous matches here this weekend. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, confidence as a player is critical, and when you're going that deep into the bench, you're hoping someone's going to come in and make a change, but no luck so far.
So from what I see comparatively, Team Freedom, you've got a good core group of guys that are playing for one another. For the Matadors, they've had so many guys come in and out, it's almost like they don't know how to play with one another a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me, there it is once again. You see that overpass come through, some visual aggravation from the Matadors, not really sure out of sorts, but Landon Short is a physical guy that he plays real big regardless of what his last name is.
Landon Short's, his last name does not describe the way he plays this sport, that is for sure.
Not at all. Float serve there at Tolero, and that's going to be having to go outside to Encarnacion. What'd you see on that block?
Nice
Was that a better
setup.
adjustment?
That was a little bit better. I still think they can move in a little tiny bit more.
Sure.
That was, look, he flies and he's got a heavy arm. He's going to score his points. You want to get the one where he decides to drop the arm and try to make a glory play and shut that one down.
Yeah. But once again, a good assessment there by Team Freedom of who they need to be serving. Encarnacion tries to go backside. Chris Vaughn passes that well, goes outside to Short. Short rolls over the top, picked up by Cunningham, but miscommunication. Short was, so something kind of interesting happened there. Based on where the serve went, Chris Vaughn got isolated on the right side of the court. That puts Chris Vaughn there. So there was a little miscommunication because there was no one in middle back that's used to being there to cover that ball up. So a little miscommunication happened.
Yeah, Shorts wanted to get another set and have an opportunity to get a better swing on that second one.
Yeah, and there's Elias setting him on the outside, goes for that hard angle and not able to find over the net.
Look, this is a tough rotation for Team Freedom. You've got Matt Elias up front right, Shorts and Modesto, Elias is middle front. So only two hitters in the front row. You know, you've got Aldis out of the back row waiting for the D, but Vaughn is passing and they're serving him short and they're taking out a back row hitting pattern. And they get let off the hook.
And from age 14 or 15, every coach you have will say, I don't care how in or out the ball is. If you think it's out, you chase that to the line. And we see it there from Vaughn. Makes sure that he doesn't get beat on something silly. So yeah. Good hustle.
Good hustle, absolutely. Well-disciplined play by them. You know, Matadors did clearly let Team Freedom off the hook there because they were kind of reeling a little bit after two straight errors from Shorts. But, you know, really now the Matadors, they've got it back within one.
Yep.
It's going to be important for them to come out with a nice pass and get a good side out right out of the gate.
Yeah, and there's a TV timeout here, so not a bad place for the Matadors to make a little run, get a breather, talk about now how we're going to win the middle part of this game. So we'll see if they've got a little strategy here. If I had to look at based on where their personnel is at, I think you want to try to side out, or yeah, you want to side out here and get Jair back into the front row if I know the rotation correctly. But all right, so right now we see something we've seen all weekend long though, and that's going to be Malero talking to his guys, getting them dialed in, and you know, really trying to center them back up here. But if you're Team Freedom, you want to come out of this timeout, look for a good aggressive serve, get something coming back, get a set out to the outside, see if one of your guys can really smash the ball and put it away.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. Malero, control the back row. Make sure you're talking about seams. Modesto's going to jump float serve, so not a huge service threat here, but make a good quality pass so that they can run their offense.
There's the serve, hits Tolero where he wants him. High ball goes, and that's Encarnacion out of the backside. Vaughn digs it in the back row. Back set goes back to Albus. Swings wide, doesn't quite find the line there. And ball goes wide, so that's going to be Matadors tidying that up. And for the first time in a couple games here, we hear the Matadors bench starting to get loud and rowdy.
Yeah, I mean, that was a well-played, well-executed transition swing. Albus just missed. I think he hit the line referee's foot, which was out of bounds, so easy call for him to make.
That's going to be Vaughn with a good pass and going to the outside. Landon Shorts with a big swing, dug in the back row by number 8. They're going to have Encarnacion with the chop there. Dug down the line. Cunningham's going to set outside to Short. Short's going to take a swing, and that's going to fall back on his side into a triple block there. Not able to make that happen for him.
Yeah, Landon Shorts is getting a little flustered at the moment. He's trying to hit the ball down into the meat of the court, right in the heart, and he's getting deflected, he's getting controlled, he's getting blocked a little bit. He needs to maybe rearrange his sort of hitting trajectory back to the corners, regroup, get a nice clean kill deep in the court.
Yep, Vaughn airs the ball out. Cunningham's going to set it wide. Short's going to go after it, and that's going to be net by there's the swing. He's got another double or triple block, I don't recall, in front of him, but he attacks the small blocker there in number 3, Jesus Serrano. Serrano tries to cover his own block touch and finds the net on the way. We now see Serrano has called for his middle to be on a 3 route, so I wonder if he's trying to set up Encarnacion out of the back row.
Yeah, he's front row, so 31, but that's what Ishmael likes to hit, I believe.
Yeah, he definitely has some comfort on that. Tolero goes wide, doesn't find what he wants.
It's a bit of a trap set there. Obviously started off with the not ideal pass.
Yep.
Took the middle out of the play. And again, you have to pass the ball up to the net to give your setter options in order to score points.
And we see that same 3 route called here. Good pass by Encarnacion. And then goes to the backside, Jair. So they were trying to overload the blocking scheme and give a one-on-one on the backside, but Jair not quite able to connect. And Landon Short as the solo blocker back there.
Feel the momentum shifting back over to Team Freedom at this point. Matadors with a front row setter, only 2 front row attackers. Haven't seen Serrano be too involved on the offense himself.
Yep, and that's Tolero going on the outside, swings good ball into the angle. Want to see that. That's a good activation from him out there.
Yeah, nice redemption swing by Tolero there. He needed that. The Matadors needed that. And hopefully he can get the little confidence running on building off of that swing.
Yeah, and sometimes we talk about the chess game being played in the volleyball game, and that rotation's huge because it brings Jair back front row.
We got some serious crowd action coming into play here.
Yep, that's a good dig in the back row for the Matadors. Chip over the top, and that's going to be setter out. Cunningham bumps that to the outside. Albus has to free ball it back over, and that's going to be handled by Encarnacion in the back row. Goes to the backside. Jair takes a big swing into the angle. Jair thumps his chest and said, "This is me, and this is my game."
Is he saying that, or was he saying, "Feed me"? Feed me.
Either way, he's a big boy. I'd feed him all day long. That's some good defense there. Encarnacion scrapping. We saw a couple digs there by Serrano on the back right side. And float serves into the net. So far, we've seen some pretty solid serves coming out here for Landon Shorts. And to see if he can get a piece of this one right now. That's a big serve. That's possibly an ace. Nope, dug out of the ceiling there. Tipped over the top by Jair. Dug. Man, that is some really dynamite effort there from Landon Shorts, from a big serve to trying to pick that tip out of middle back. That ball is normally going to be your left or right back defender's ball, but he read it and he went after it.
You're right. That's a dynamite effort play by him. Unfortunately, the ball just bounces off the wrong direction. Great serve from him. A little bit of a lucky break for the Matadors, but here comes Tolero with his jump float.
Sends it long.
That goes out of bounds. So quite the back and forth battle of missed serves and chanting and clapping, and I almost feel like I'm at a professional game down in Puerto Rico right now.
Yeah, and you know, this is what I was honestly expecting more of, with how much Team Freedom likes to chirp and Matadors loves to be heard, you know. Well, we're hearing it live now.
As this match progresses here, I think it's only going to get louder and louder.
Yep, Seifert with a serve. Malero handles that well, goes up to the inside, and that's a huge block touch there. Did you see, was that Albus?
Real nice. I don't know who that was. I think it was a little bit of help from the right side blocker there, Albus, and that was a huge block at a timely moment for Team Freedom.
Yeah, Ismail Alamar not finding any luck there, and That's going to be a timeout called on the side of Matadors.
Matadors take their second timeout, I think.
Yeah, I don't recall. That's an interesting one to me, being down by 1, maybe just trying to slow them down. But personally right now, I think I'm going to take the coin flip as a coach and honestly let my guys try to ride that high emotion. Now, it is a gamble, but I think when they're riding that emotion, that's where you're going to see the best play. And that's what I would probably be leaning towards right now.
Yeah, I think at this moment, at this point in this match, I don't want to keep moving pieces in and out. I think we've seen guys come in, they haven't really been able to produce. Keep some continuity on the floor, let the guys figure it out themselves. It's still close here. You're down by 2 points. You're not even halfway done, really, technically, with this third set. But you're creating some momentum. It's going back and forth, which is the way volleyball kind of works. And keep feeding your big guys. Maybe get a little more action out of Alomar in the middle when he's in there. He's a big boy. He's 6'7". He jumps well. He needs to get a couple more sets so he can produce offensively for Matadors.
Yeah, he's a big guy. I think I've seen, though, he has kind of a low point of contact, and that's where he does a lot of those gaps and those threes, and those really create some spacing. But, you know, if there's good movement over here on the side of Team Freedom, they're getting some good block touches on him, so they might want to try to hang that set a little bit higher for him.
Let's see how this serve goes for Seifert here.
Good target, but Malero gets a great pass, goes up, and that's Encarnacion tooling the inside left hand there of Albus.
Nice move by Albus. He didn't chase him too far outside, but he's late getting his hands back into the angle now. So Encarnacion's able to tool him outside to the side of the court.
That's going to bring Ismael Alomar to the back line there.
I would like to see Albus just line up straight on Encarnacion and watch his approach. Instead of making a big swing block move, maybe just one side shuffle step and get in front of him so that he's right in front of his hitting arm.
So you want to see him make kind of like a read block and see where he goes with it?
I just don't want to see him make a big swing block, which is making him late on his blocking motion to get his hands over the net. I want to see him take one side shuffle step and then just get up and over the net.
Up and over, okay. Makes a lot of sense.
And now he goes to the back row, so, you know, maybe next time.
All right, so there's going to be a big toss here from Albus. Big swing, and that's going to be a tough one there for Encarnacion to handle.
Little mental breakdown, I think. Maybe not ready to pass that ball, but maybe it bounced off his watch. I'm not really sure. It's hard to tell.
It's interesting that he's wearing a watch as a passer.
That's, you know, kind of thought that as well. Maybe the, you know, good luck sort of vibe there or something. I'm not really sure if he's got someplace he's got to be or what. But
that's a good pass here by Tolero, and they set it up there, and that's going to be a big swing, but it goes wide. And we're kind of seeing that turbulent, hilly, you know, experience that we talked about prior to the match, where Encarnacion comes on strong, and sometimes he tails off in that third and fourth set. So he's just getting a little emotional right now.
Yeah, hard to say what exactly is going on there, but to see a shanked pass and then a hitting error against a three-man block, he's definitely getting into his own head a little bit.
Yep.
And he may need to take a couple deep breaths here and stop playing the scoreboard.
We see Freedom pushing this to a 4-point lead. They're getting comfortable and confident. And that's Albus with a big jump serve. Handled well, puts it high ball, but it's a gimme set. So that's going to be a tip over the top. Cunningham finds it, and Landon Short with a big approach before he even sees the set. Backside goes to Jair. Jair takes a big swing block move by Modesto. Shuts that down, flexes, and that man has some cannons.
Team Freedom just riding the wave right now, the momentum wave. Taking advantage of a not ideal set over to Jair. Discipline on the block. Shorts puts the ball in play, doesn't go for the glory kill, gives his block and defense a chance to get a stop, and that's exactly what happens. He results in a 5-point lead for Team Freedom.
Modesto makes that move to the left and says, here's 2 tickets to the gun show. That is absolutely impressive. And
well, he is the gun show. I think he wins that category in this tournament as well for, you know, best guns, obviously.
God. The middles on Team Freedom are some big dudes.
They are. They are, all 3 of them.
Right now, we're seeing a Matadors team that looks visibly defeated.
Yeah, they're reeling, they're spinning. Their rock, number 2, Encarnacion, is a little bit flabbergasted on what's just happened the last few points. Coach is talking to him now, trying to kind of get his guy. He's their guy. Yeah. He's got to be the rock for this team right now if they want to come back and win this set. and try to push it to 4, or else they're packing their bags.
Yeah, and coach talking to Encarnacion, and you can see Malero's body language says right now he looks at the scoreboard and says, guys, do not worry about that score. We need to settle down emotionally, and his body language and passion in which he talks tells me everything he's saying, and I can't hear a word from here. He's got the right message. Hopefully his guys can kind of embody that and get dialed back in.
Give credit to where credit's due. Team Freedom is attacking the non-libero passers for the Matadors, Tulero and Encarnacion, and that strategy is working really well for them.
And they identified that from pre-match. You know, they said we want to isolate him. Good pass there. Encarnacion goes one-on-one, but Cunningham finds a great dig. Shorts goes back from the back line, finds a swing, poked up, kept alive. Mulero finds a free ball over. That's going to be a net.
Unfortunate.
From Modesto.
I think it was Modesto's leg netted.
That's always impressive when your leg's the thing in the net. But right now, Modesto just needs to smile, nod, turn around, and keep riding this energy.
Yeah, you know, just a quick side out, no big deal. You know, just let it go. Doing a double sub over here for the Matadors. So Rodriguez is going to go back to serve. You've got Serrano playing front row now. So you actually have the 2 setters on the court at the same time. So they didn't double sub, they just did 1 sub.
There's a short float coming in, handled well by Vaughn, goes backside to Albus. Albus makes a big swing, touch off the middle blocker there. Set goes outside, Encarnacion takes his rip, and with a loud grunt, he gets that big swing.
Again, the wing blocker for Team Freedom is way out of position, too far to the antenna. They have to position their block more into the cross court, force Encarnacion to hit line, and show them that he can do that. But you have to stay in his vision. He is having a heyday hitting cross court.
And he's so confident. His approach almost completely eliminates the line option for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris Vaughn with a good tight pass there. Goes up and he goes into the line blocker there and uses the outside hand of Serrano.
It's a little bit of a sneak away kind of play on that one. That wasn't the best pass, not the prettiest set, but he's able to get the tool off the block. And so now it's his turn to serve.
Float goes down the line. That was Serrano in serve receive there.
Yeah, it was. He took it well, but that was a better block by Landon Shorts over there on their left side, blocking Encarnacion's first attempt on the right side.
Yeah.
So having the second setter in now poses this a little bit of a challenge with number 2 hitting on the right.
So they're in like kind of a, I don't know if he's actually in the serve receive position or a little bit deeper, but they look like they're kind of in almost a 4-man serve receive, trying to mitigate gaps to be served here. That's a good pass by Mulero, goes to the outside. Serrano looks for a chisel, and he goes down the line.
Yeah, nice attack by Serrano there. They needed that side out for sure, being that it's 16 serving 20 now. Good contribution from him. I think that was probably his first set attempt for the night as well, since he's been setting most of the evening.
Encarnacion is going to go to the float serve, puts it in the middle back, handled by Vaughn. Dump comes up, but dug well. Mulero's going to bump set that outside. Serrano goes for a swing. Cunningham digs, set to the outside. Landon slips a little bit and still turns and swings that off Serrano.
Yeah, nice adjustment by Shorts on the left side. He kind of ran underneath that ball, cuffed it right off of the block of Serrano, out of bounds for the tool.
It looked like his right heel slid to me, so he almost went off balance there and still found a way to just control it.
He still jumped really well and was able to score the point.
Now we see a serving sub. That's going to be Josue Castillo coming in for Freedom here for Modesto. Big jump serve. Finds a tape. Mulero takes it easy. Goes to the backside. Serrano's the go-to. Dug by Albus with his hands. That's going to be a up ball there and tipped over the top. Dug by Vaughn in the back row. It's going to be Albus looking for a deep tip over the net. Barely keeps that one alive. Big swing from Tulero. Gets a block there by Elias. That's going to be Mulero going back to Tulero once again. Blocked. Dug is an off blocker, and Landon Short goes up and absolutely finds a way to put that away. And you know, earlier you were talking about the importance of being disciplined. That was a close ball, whether that was on what side of the net it was, but he went with a closed fist, quick snap, puts it away, and no questions asked by the men in blue.
Yeah, no, that was a great rally, but what we see from the Matadors, unfortunately, is Jair on the bench.
Yeah.
They could be using him right now. It's 22, serving 16. You need your hammers on the court, and if I'm the Matadors, I'm finding a way to get him back in.
Yeah, and that's going to be a missed serve by Josue Castillo there, but He's able to extend their rally by 1, and as a serving sub who's been sitting for 3 full games now, you know, he got 1, so.
Yeah, that was a good effort by Josue Castillo for sure, and it was a nice contribution that he did coming in off the bench and doing that.
And now we're going to see serving sub Serrano there for the Matadors, bringing Fernandez off the court. Last time he served, I believe he missed into the net, so we'll see if he's able to do something a little bit more this time.
Now we're getting close here. Emotions are running high, getting late in this match. Matadors need to win this set to extend it to a 4th game.
Chops that down the line, handled well, but a bit of a free ball, or not a free ball, sorry, that's kept alive, and now it's a swing outside by short. Wow, that was some chaos there, a little bit of quick chops.
Just like they drew it up. We call that a textbook side out.
Yeah, that's almost one of those where you say thank you as that was tipped, or tried to set over by Seifert, and then it was kind of just an easy recovery based on the blocking move that was made by Alomar there.
Yeah, Matt Seifert tried to set that ball over. It was blocked back, and then he covered himself.
Yeah.
Oh!
Short serve coming out.
That is going to be the nail in the coffin, Nick. A short serve.
Yep.
We now have match point to Team Freedom.
And we looked like we were both wrong.
Nobody
we gave
saw
them some
this
matches.
coming.
And
Nobody saw this coming.
Looking like a 3-0 here. Float serve deep. Set goes to the middle, and that's a big swing, but comes down too sharply, and Seifert keeps that alive. Dug by Elias there. Quick set to the outside. This is a trap set, but Albus able to better that ball and use an undisciplined block from the side of the Matadors and steals a point to take the match.
It's a very unconventional way to win the match, but you know what? It doesn't matter. The first one to 25 wins, and the first one to win 3 sets wins the match.
Absolutely. Simple math, and they did it there. Whew. But, we talked about it, the importance of this group, even with some big changes in the lineup, going to Matt Elias there, going to Cunningham back in the rotation, and then you see, who was it? Was it Landon Shorts was the new outside from last match there, I believe. And this 3 changes in the entire, that almost looked better.
You saw contributions from everyone on that court. There was not a single guy that didn't do anything to help that team win.
Yeah, and
both middles were involved. All 3 outside hitters were consistently passing well and attacking well, choosing the right attack lines. The blocking got better as the match went on, and Elias set a great match. We were kind of concerned, like, why is he going in? Well, coach must know something we don't, because he did a great job.
That's a little scary, because when they played Blaze earlier, this lineup, the way they were playing with that level of consistency, might be better than what we saw this morning. So
it might be, and now they're in the semifinals, so we'll find out tomorrow morning who's going to play good and who's going to get some good, solid quality wrist. It's very impressive that they won that match in 3 games, because now they're going to have more extra time to recuperate and recover.
Absolutely, and one of those big things that you really want to see from a team like that. Oh, before we get there, I think we got Olivia with Seifert on the sideline. Olivia, over to you.
Thanks, Nick. Mac, what a big 3-set sweep. How are you able to shut out the Matadors?
Yeah, I think we were excited about the matchup. We said after the last pool play game, it's a different tournament. Playoffs are a lot different. You can't take anything for granted, so we were just excited to be in the playoff atmosphere, and it's good to get a win. It's a good team.
What would you say was key in putting it away?
I think we were in system a lot. I thought our block defense was really good. They got some guys who can, bring some heat from the outside. So I think we just do a really good job of trusting our system, trusting each other to make plays when the ball comes to us, and that's what helped us out.
That block defense, you knew it was going to be key coming into this one. How were you able to execute at the net?
Yeah, I think we just have good game plans going into the match. We talk about a lot of things. We talk about what we see. The guys on the bench give us good input on what they see too, and that helps a lot. That goes a long way. So I think just talking about what we see, the defensive strategy we want to try to execute, it helped us out.
You knew that serving was also going to be big. You were so solid from the line. What were you seeing back there?
Again, it's preparation. We knew our serving targets were going to be. We knew what rotations we wanted to hit them in to kind of get them out of system and make them do things they don't normally like to do or want to do. So again, it's just preparation and then execution for us.
Landon Short coming in, such a big game on the outside. How big was his energy in this one?
Yeah, he's a freak. He's up there on the block. He skies when he attacks. He's just a lot of energy. That's exactly what you said. It's energy, it's enthusiasm, and that stuff's contagious when you're on the court. When you're bringing that, it's contagious to all the other players on there. So that's good for us.
And like you said, it's a playoff atmosphere. What's the biggest takeaway that's going to help you tomorrow?
The next game's the most important one. That one's over. We're going to find out. What we want to do going into tomorrow, and then we get ready to go off tomorrow again.
Congratulations. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Back to you, Nick.
Thanks so much. And what I was kind of saying before we went over there was, we hear about when we saw Olivia on camera last, with Coach Justin there, they were talking about how are they going to be successful, and they said we are going to remove Mulero from their serve receive, and they did that not for one game but for the full match. They found their guys all over they found their guys and they executed.
Well, Matt Seifert made a great point. That was a team effort. He said the guys on the bench were feeding information to the guys on the court, letting them know what they're seeing, helping them out with some extra sets of eyes. So I want to credit the entire team for that victory, because
Absolutely.
It's not about just the 6 guys that are on the court. It's the 20 guys total as a team that helps everybody win and come together.
100%. That was a great match. Big 3-0 win there for Team Freedom as they try to go deeper on into this tournament. Up next is going to be our last match of this, and we have the Las Vegas Ramblers going up against the Tennessee Tyrants. It's going to be an explosive match. Before we get there, I want to say a huge thank you once again to Mikasa for their provision of all the balls we're using this weekend. Also, a huge thank you to the Utah Athletic Center for having us here. This high-level volleyball would not be possible without all of your support. For everyone at home, thanks for watching. We're going to be on a quick break. We'll be back here for the last match of the night.